sure it happens too.
Yeah, I know you would, David. Like Casey, make sure you get that in the newspaper.
So Mike can take care of that.
Put it in yourself, write the article, give it to Michael, and there it's done.
So if you guys want to start coming more often, we'll get your names memorized, we'll have good conversations like this one. Hopefully we don't have to.
Gotta come more on time, right, David?
Our goal is to help that too, so. I would hope that. They're here for the 290.
For local headlines, this week at Brockhouse, the DFL delegates to Rochester and Huntington.
David, are you gonna vote early and vote often?
Don't know when I'm gonna vote, but I got all kinds of stuff to do tomorrow. They wait till the end.
You never gave me any signs for yourself, and I looked to see if I had any, and I don't. I must have gave them all back.
I think Dean Fisher has a lot of signs.
He's got all, he's the sign guy?
I think when you're out picking his signs up, he picked up a whole bunch of other folks.
Well, last time we gave both of them, put both of them back away. They're probably still in Marsh building right now, in the back. He just doesn't know it.
No, I took them to Dean's building.
Oh, you did? Years have gone by very, very fast, haven't they, you guys?
Oh, this is a different one. It's not yeah. I heard that. Yeah.
This is you. Up there for the hill. So you see.
Okay, it's 8:30. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First thing we need to do is approve the agenda.
So moved.
Okay, second. Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Public comments, this time is set aside for public comments on county business topics. To be recognized, please raise your hand or stand. After recognition by the chair, state your name and address. You may speak one time per issue. If the comment is for an item not on the agenda, please understand the Board of Supervisors will not act on your comments at this meeting due to the open meeting law requirements, but may do so in future board meetings by placing it on the agenda. The chair and board members welcome comments from the public. However, all comments must be directed to the board and not to others in attendance. Keep your comments germane. It is not appropriate to use profane, obscene, or slanderous language. No personal attacks will be allowed. The chair may limit each speaker to 3 minutes. Anybody from the public wish to speak? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Randy Mullenbach. I've been here my third time. You were back in 2023. You were still on the board, and I came here in 2025, and now I'm here now. And I wanted to try to get 290th Street. That's from the county line to T47 Blacktop initially. Yeah, at least put a bug in your ear to try to put money aside so we can get that done. Well, obviously, that doesn't look like it's going to be possible with the current financial situation. So I worked with Kurt Kupka on trying to get some dust control on the road. And we accomplished it in 2025. And it wasn't for the windmill part of it. It was from C Avenue going west. And the county engineer, we had a meeting with the county engineer, 2 people from Wendling Quarries, and several neighbors were at that meeting. And we walked out of that meeting within 15, 20 minutes. Agreement to go ahead and dust control it. That was on August 26th of last year. And they dust controlled it September 11th. They came out and put dust control on just shortly after that, the whole 3.2 miles. The agreement was to do it every year until it wasn't necessary. somehow or another, that agreement that we walked out with got changed. And nobody notified me. Because I went to, and I had texted the guy from DeWitt, from Wendling to see if we could get our dust control early this year, because we had a tremendous amount of truck traffic. Dust flying everywhere, no rain, terrible conditions. Hazardous conditions. It was a construction zone. That's what it is. It's a frickin' construction zone. He texts me back and says, well, the county doesn't, I thought it was just a one-time deal when we walked out of that meeting. I said, no, we got 7 witnesses that knew it was forever until we didn't need it anymore. So I contacted Kurt Kupka to see if we can get our dust control on. And he tells me it ain't happening. I want to know who, so I went to Ben, the ex-engineer, works in Marshalltown, and I asked him, how do you remember that meeting? He goes, yes, we agreed when you guys left to have total dust control for the future. That's how I remember it. But he goes, there was a meeting after the meeting, which I never knew about. Somehow, I don't know who was in the meeting, but it got changed. So I don't know who changed it. It had to be right here. Somebody from here had to change it. So,
I wasn't at any meeting either. This is the first time I've heard it.
yeah. Well, I had invited Kurt to the meeting on August 26th, and he didn't show, which is fine, because we got resolved. He contacted me about noon that day and said, how'd that meeting go? I said, great, we got dust control. County paid half, quarry paid half. So I don't know where we lost this. Well, after I texted the guy from Wendling, I texted him again a couple weeks later. Well, the neighbor says, we got trucks going everywhere again. I said, okay. I texted him and he replied back and he says, and I could read the text, but he replied back basically, did you get a quote for dust control? And I haven't replied back to him. And he says, we're looking into signage to get the trucks to go to Highway 30 instead of heading north out of the quarry. And that's why I'm here today, because I don't want to reply back to him for anything, because I don't know what the heck's going on anymore. So who can help us out here? Because we had an agreement. And the only thing Kurt ever told me was, engineer's gone, we have no documentation, there was an agreement, it ain't happening, because you guys are cutting funds. Because you weren't even gonna dust control from the quarry to Highway 30, which you've been doing for decades. Decades, not 10 years, but 20, 30 years. It's like this, it's pavement, like this sheer desktop, no dust on it at all. And if they do get a little dust, they just drop some water on it to activate the calcium chloride. We need to resolve this because it is a construction zone. Any construction projects that are going on 40, 50, 60 miles from that quarry, north, northeast, or northwest, those gravel trucks want to take our road. And that road is not straight. There's blind spots everywhere, hills, curves, everything's washboardy. All our rock gets ground into dust. I've been here 3 times now. I thought I had it resolved last August. Please help us. And I don't want this to go all summer. We'd like to see some resolution here within a week or 2. Because we just met the trucks again this morning coming here. So that's where I'm at. I don't know what else you guys can do, but I remember you, the very first meeting I came to, you said you talked about that one time when I brought it up about blacktop. You said you used to truck on that road. And you said, yeah, we've talked about that before. I thought, great, we're gonna get somewhere. And I did get somewhere, but it changed. So I don't know why I should be contacting the board. I think you guys can. But I'd sure like to be part of the conversation because they know it's a problem. They absolutely know. Manat's trucks run on there. Manat's owns Wendling Quarries. And what the guy, Josh is his name from DeWitt, has said, we want them to go to Highway 30. Well, how can we enforce that? So give us some options. Can you guys give us some options and a solution? Cause I had one. All I got to say.
As far as I know, back to what happened to this agreement, the meeting after the meeting was the Winley guy and Ben decided that it was a 1-year deal. They weren't doing it anymore. But I do, believe after talking to Chris and going through and looking for anything that we have for documentation or anything like that, there isn't anything. They made handshake agreements and never wrote nothing down. So here we are stuck with that. I do know that we paid 18,000 last year. That's correct. That's correct. So the dust control, and I know that we got quote, I think the quote for just the quarry road, C Avenue went up to like 22 or 23,000 this year. That's why Nick has said, you know, the quarry needs to do it. It's their business. Engineer Nick.
Have you guys gone and talked to the quarry then, like the same group to go there? Cause like,
We
like you
did.
said, Manats and them, I'm surprised they wouldn't just offer up to do something. Cause it's, I mean, it's more in their ballpark in
Well,
my
that was the 26th,
opinion.
August 26th meeting.
Yeah.
And they.
But like another meeting now, like to just,
No, I don't know how I got next, you know, how the thing got next, and I don't, cause I assumed it happened here.
no, it didn't. It was our previous engineer, so.
Another thing, I need to stand, I've never been. That these companies that do the dust control send out letters like in April, March,
February, Texas.
to sign up. Well, we didn't know that there was a meeting, the oil project, nobody got signed up for, so we have no dust control. We have nobody to pay because we figured we were getting it. So we're in that situation right now.
And which I talked to the engineer's office, they charge a late fee, but we just waive all that if they wanted to do dust control.
Okay.
Well,
But we don't want to,
that's what, we don't want to do that.
We don't wanna do
I'm
that.
just telling you what happened.
cause we need the whole road. Because that road is at an angle and everything, and there's just no way a truck can go slow enough not to raise dust, like a huge amount of dust. It is a safety hazard, no question about that.
I've been run off the road 3 times, off the road, on the curbs where the pups come around, and slide around. Not all of them do it, but it only takes 1 or 2 to do that. Is there a reason why they go north instead of going to 30? What is the reason for the trucking companies to do that?
Why you'd have to ask them,
Okay,
probably shorter distance,
Yeah, time.
less miles.
it's 2.2 miles further to take 30 up to the intersection of East Main and Zeller. 2.2 miles. Well, it's more, but it's less than a minute in time. In less than 1 minute, they're saving 1 minute by going that way. To me, that's not, and I've checked that out 3 or 4 times. I mean, I'm not just throwing figures out. I just don't understand why they.
And we're talking a narrow road. We're not talking as wide as the road is from the quarry to Highway 30. That road is ready to be paved, because that was the other thing that was gonna happen. The road was gonna get paved, and Ben was gonna take that money, and they said that in the meeting, take that money and use it for dust control our direction. So his budget wouldn't have changed, you know? And that's exactly what he said.
Where does this farm to market money go each year too?
Yeah,
That's what I was wondering, is it a farm to market
Yes, it
road or
is.
not?
Yes,
The
it
one
is.
that comes 230? Yeah.
oh, no, 290th. The one that goes past our house.
Oh, so not the one that comes, okay.
So it's farm to market road too, that, because I went and talked to the Marshalltown engineer, how they got their 1 mile blacktop. And that's what he said they used. And he said every county gets it.
Yeah.
So I brought that up in that meeting, the second meeting I came here with. I said,
Yeah.
it's farm to market roads, let's use that money toward it. And either dust control or blacktop it. But get no dust. I mean, it's simple. And if you guys would drive out there, we should have our meeting out there, so you'd understand in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah, I know how bad it is.
Yeah, I mean, you got a guy right here that's a witness.
So if we someday get the farm to market money and can pave it 230, you know, using like
No,
No,
that, but that doesn't result.
The other direction.
'Cause- But you're saying that we want it to, they want to put signage that you have to go to 30, right? That's where I'm trying to,
Mm-hmm.
show me on a map here where we at. I'm just trying to figure out, but that's not, I guess that's not. the
You guys
problem.
live on 290.
That's the problem.
Yeah. You all
That's
live
where I
on
go, I
290,
want to see how,
which is west from.
but I got the same situation, I'm getting cold hobby.
He's on T4.
I had the same situation where I live.
North
The
of,
quarry, see Avenue, toward north to the Garden Green Mountain Road.
okay.
And they travel that road also, the gravel trucks, heavily. And what I'd like to see someday that to make those trucks stay on the road from the quarry to 30 and from C Avenue from the quarry to T47. Those travel trucks need to stay on those two roads.
You don't want that.
He
lives on that.
It's not that. When you talk about, you're talking about county head situation, financial situation, hardships. Those trucks go down them roads, they ruin them roads. But now we gotta fix them. The county does, obviously. And some of these trucks, the drivers are independent drivers. They don't even live in our county. And we're paying for them to drive on our roads to ruin them. I have a bridge out there that's a single road bridge. That deck is destroyed. It's got potholes. It's a concrete deck. It's got potholes this big and that deep in that single bridge out there. Just past the quarry, about a half mile.
Right by Nancy Honest.
Bingo. That bridge is destroyed. It's concrete bridge, top.
And we also got
And it comes from what? Those heavy gravel trucks running on that road, independent contractors running our roads that we have to fix, and they don't even live in our county.
And we also got
We pay for it.
we also got the Amish school right there.
Yes. And the Amish live just up the road from me, and they run buggies on that
They
road.
do.
They run their e-bikes on them. Kids are running down them e-bikes on that road. That's really dangerous. Those kids run down that road. Those buggies run down that, the horse buggies run down that road. Someday it's gonna happen. We hope never does. Does it take one time? Yes. That's shameful.
And I have something. I'm Jim Morris and I live on 290th and I've been there 16 years and I've worked in construction, project managers where we've had all kinds of projects. But this was in Illinois, so I'm aware of all the dust requirements and everything. But I talked to Bill Gross at DNR in Des Moines, and he said the entity or the quarry is responsible for reasonable fugitive dust control. They are responsible. So obviously that's why maybe they're the ones in the meeting that didn't want to do it. But he sent me some regulations of which I'm sure you all have access to. But this was Bill Gross, and he's the environmental specialist senior. And he gave me all his contact numbers and everything, but the quarry has a responsibility for reasonable dust control, reasonable, but they have done none. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
But I believe, again, that they need, I know Brad lives on the 290th Street going east. I'm sure they'd love to see that road paved, seal coated or whatever to keep the dust down. But if they do a better job there at dust control than they do my road that goes to the highway.
Yes.
It's a lot better that way. They control that. And I think it is, like he said, it's a responsibility of that quarry to keep that dust down.
Yeah.
On C Avenue that goes to 30 and the road that goes from the quarry past Brad, which is 290th Street. Somehow with this body needs to make sure that those gravel trucks go down those two roads. Excellent. To keep off these other roads. It's costing us money. It's costing this county money to maintain those roads. The rock goes to heck. Well, you gotta get out there and fix all them roads. And they're not even part of this county. And we're paying for that.
I tried to get on the agenda originally. I was on for about a half hour and I got a call back that, nope, you're not on the agenda. So do I need to be on the agenda next Monday? Or what should I do?
Yep, so you brought your complaint during a public comment, portion for us to take any action on it, as a board. Whatever the actionable item would be on the agenda. And so what we rely on is him for the road, because we can't be in every department and we can't put everybody on an agenda.
Right.
And so this was a ongoing issue last year. I can just remember that, I got a call from somebody out there and said that the trucks are leaving there and heading north instead of south to 30. And so I called the engineer and I said, would you get with the quarry and make sure that they're making sure that the traffic is diverting down? They had wind turbine traffic last year, and I think that may have been what prompted the dust control last year. We don't have that traffic on our, that's not part of our, traffic this year. And so I think that they need to be reminded that traffic needs to head south to 30.
But how do you enforce it?
Good question. And I can be honest and say, I don't know.
So so that's why we're looking for dust control.
Yeah, but I think
Because that don't have-
at a minimum, they could have signage and then have an explanation to the people who are there frequently. You'll get out of towners, every once in a while coming to haul, but the ones that are hauling there all of the time, 97% of their traffic is going to be repeat customers. So I would think that they could have some kind of an explanation to the people when they come in, that this is what's
But
what's expected.
who needs to address them? You guys as a board or us as a public?
Typically, I called our engineer to do it last year.
I live on 208th Street and I have for 48 years and I raise kids out there. And I had 3 boys and they ride bikes and stuff down that road. And, when I was raising kids, there was never any trucks coming down that road. And my father-in-law lived down the road a ways. I asked him why, because I'd seen him going to the highway. He goes, well, we got an embargo on this road this was back in the 90s. And after those kids graduated. In that time, I've had trucks in my front yard driving through, going off the road, driving through the front yard. That happened this spring. We're on a slight curve and they actually crossed the median or the half, across the road. Went across my driveway into the ditch and into the neighbor's ditch. It was a side dumper. I know something like that could happen. But anyway, that's how it was taken care of back in those days.
Is that a possibility?
With an embargo,
I just wrote that down.
Yeah, we'll have to look into it. I know with the 63 closure, there was a dirt road, right, as there was a truck stuck, and our engineer said there's a reason and when you can embargo, and so we just need to re-ask him and look that up, but as long, I can't remember what that exact reason was, but if it meets one of the reasons, that would be the cheapest option for everybody. We're not doing a highway, we're not doing dust control, just embargo it, so they have to go a different way. Obviously, it still has to be enforced, right, so that would be the biggest thing, but we gotta make sure it meets whatever the rule is, so we'll look into that with our engineer.
And I don't know how this guy actually went off the road because it wasn't slick that day. It was in February. And, he didn't destroy the yard because the ground was still frozen. But, it took him a while to get out of that ditch and then back on the road. And, I agree with Ken over here that someday it's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna get killed on that road. But some of these trucks,
He's got a lot of grandkids now. I got a lot of grandkids that are playing out in the yard, in these.
Well, the Amish
Just in the Amish, yeah, it's just dangerous.
you literally have to stop on the roads and most cars down the road and let them go by and then wait for the dust to clear to see if there's another one coming.
Well, if you go to T47 and turn north and take your first right, that's 285th, and I live on that, and there's a lot of Amish on that road as well.
Yeah.
I live down on that road and there's terrible dust down there, so where does it stop? That's one of the problems with dust controlling. One section, you gotta pretty much do the entire county.
Keep them all
Well, any rock that comes from
And this
that
Take them through the paper.
breaks down.
But these trucks are, cars going 30 mile an hour is so much dust. Trucks going 30 miles an hour with a pup behind it
Mhm.
is incredible,
We get tons of truck traffic.
incredibly more, so.
That they call it the Ridge Road and goes
Right.
down in right by Polaris.
Right.
That's the road I live on. and we get tons of truck traffic on
Not
that.
as much as ours.
You don't get as much as yours on.
There's just.
This year, it's probably more, I've lived there for a while, and we get considerable amount of traffic
Yeah.
in farm traffic. This year with 63 closed, we're getting a lot of people coming up H.
There's days when we get all that traffic if they're going north from the quarter. If they're going north.
Yeah, that can definitely be.
And there's a project, a big
It's
project,
every 2 or 3 minutes.
because we got a project coming up, they're gonna build a new power plant in Marshalltown. Another power plant. Got the new power lines gonna get put in, they're gonna be hauling rock and they're gonna be hauling cement. I mean, everything, ours is the start of the construction. Our road is starting the construction, where they go after that, it's gonna get thinner and thinner and thinner with traffic, but we get it all. We'd sure like to see you guys come up with a resolution, complete resolution, forever.
Why did they take your road instead of just taking Highway 30 east? Cause I've been on that road a lot too. I mean, they're, well, 30 to go to T47 and then they don't take your gravel road.
Yeah, my guess is to.
Because the road goes nowhere other than to 63 and you can turn off a few places.
Yep, my guess is to avoid DOT.
Yeah, it's another.
That could be.
And another thing is that our road is a junk road where people haul stuff into Gervich, where they come with these hay wagons with steel and flat tire city, and then they just use it. You know, it's just a busy road.
Gotcha.
And I'd given you maps last year, and you guys probably just threw them all away because you had no money to do anything, but I gave you, that gravel road's got more traffic on it than some of the blacktop roads in Tama County. That is a fact, that is a true fact. So,
And 290th is what, of course, it's called in this county, but it lines up exactly with Marshall County's East Main. So actually, it's just a straight shot to Marshalltown.
It's East Main Road,
If you could almost consider East Main all the way out past our place. So that's their direct route.
A quick comparison on these roads, to me, the way I look at it is, you look at the DuPont out here that goes from 63 over to past north of Vining and into Cloutier versus our road that goes from T47 over to East Main Marshalltown. To me, there's not really any difference in between the two roads, twists, turns, the hills. They're very comparable roads to me.
I have some comments online. Stacy Zeman says, can someone explain what the rollers are doing on the gravel roads? All they appear to be doing is crushing what little good gravel there is in portions of the roads and taking the crown off the road and removing any chance of rain run into the ditches instead of the grooves. What's more, gully washing rains, the grooves gully washing rains created, if we ever get one. The washboards are getting to the point people are driving on the opposite side of the road on K Avenue and a few others to avoid them, which means a better chance of an accident if they meet a car on a crest of the hill. Thank you. And then JJ kind of responded and said they are testing for compaction in the gravel roads. If we ever were to pave the roads, it's through the state.
Yeah, it's the state doing it, the DOT, so we don't have anything to do with it. They do select counties every year. This roller has a bunch of sensors and stuff on it, and then they log all the data. So,
Just on K Avenue or?
no, they're doing all of the gravel roads. They started on the southern half and they're working their way.
Interesting.
Yeah, I passed one.
Okay, I know I took K in, there's one wet spot I had to go in the other lane, so the guys could go look at that. There's one spot where I had to completely get over, it was pretty wide.
Is that the detour road that?
That's the main, I mean, not the designated, but what we figure most people. It's a straight shot, yeah.
Ours is forever.
Yeah.
Can't take any action on it. I hear you.
how will we know if there's any action being taken?
Well,
Can you promise that there'll be some action taken?
You follow up with these guys and they can follow up with the engineer.
I'll check into the embargo, man. I wrote it down over here actually before they even said anything. David made a point on that, so I'll check into it because I know there's stipulations on if you can or can't. So I'll look into that. And then
Between Yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking about another road also, and I didn't realize it's not a year-round situation.
It's like 3 months.
It's got put on, take off type thing. At least up there, he was talking about it, so, yeah, and this is first we've known about this since, so that was through Ben. When you left last time, it was taken care of as far as I was concerned.
That's what I was
You
doing.
know,
So,
this is, I didn't know why you guys were all
Yeah,
coming
this
in
is
here
new
today, I
stuff,
didn't
so you
know,
know.
but, so yeah, this is the first I've known about this, so, yeah. I thought it was taken care of.
yeah,
And I do understand there's gonna be some high traffic on there because there was one year when we flooded. Sugar Creek was flooded. You couldn't get to the quarry south of the highway. They had come, DOT ran all night. And I get that. They've gotta get that rock around there on that highway and stop that highway from flooding. That's a gotta do, have to. That's given.
I'll keep in contact with you two. Yeah. And like I said, we'd like to see something real shortly here, not let it roll along the road again for another year. Cause we had it fixed.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I mean, I'll give you the number of who I talked to, Josh from DeWitt. He was the guy that had the checkbook for dust control. He asked me, well, you got any quotes for dust control? They sound like they would willing to dust control if we're willing to go half with it.
It went real easy. That meeting went real easy.
Really, we weren't there 15 minutes. So the quarry was, so I don't know who nixed that thing. That's the point. I don't know who nixed that.
Yeah, from what it sounds, what he was reading, it sounds like the court could be paying for
Yeah,
Agree. That's my thought. They should be paying for
it,
it.
not the county.
So my suggestion would be, was it you that had that information from,
Yes,
could you give that information to Kurt? Sure.
Or they need to go directly to the quarry too. You know,
Right, but
you
what I'm
can do
saying
both
is,
sides,
what
but
I'm getting at is, let's get the information since you're here, get it
For
to
sure.
Kurt now, before you guys walk out of the room. That way, you guys don't have to chase each other around to get the
Right.
information. And then, like Mark said, we can't act because it's public.
If we put an embargo on the road, then the sheriff's department will enforce
Yeah,
whatever the traffic was.
so. I'd be sorry for throwing you under the bus, but that's your job.
oh, that's fine.
I know.
Thanks.
I've got it all in my truck, if I can go out.
Absolutely.
And I'll,
It is America. We can do anything we want.
Easy.
Legally, of course, yeah.
All right, thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Sounds like a thing.
Any other public back there?
And there they are.
Get their microphone now.
It's like.
You know what we're thinking about, don't ya? K-63.
Okay, thanks for that. Appreciate it.
I'll move up if you want.
Yeah, we probably will.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
We got some fine folks over here that we've met before.
Oh, yes.
They're-
Agenda.
they're-
Okay.
Partners full.
Yeah, we don't really want them here.
They look
We're
pretty.
talking about insurance, we're talking about buggies off the road. Yes. Strike the date. Let's approve our minutes from 5/6/26.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, so moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Road project report. Anything,
Where these, nothing this morning. That's the
Dated.
day-to-day.
we just had it. Favor road project.
Yeah.
All right. Hartley Bridge School and Murphy presentation. Yep, sorry.
It's warmer up here. It's warmer up here. It was freezing back there. Where's your blanket? My jacket on.
I've got it. Okay. And I,
There you go.
Thank you.
Have we moved on from the engineer report?
Yeah, we already did that.
No, I was just gonna say, I drove K Avenue 4 times, and 2 of the case times I was coming south, and that washboard is, as soon as you leave the sanitary landfill, you cross.
Oh, yeah.
the road,
You're heading,
Thank you.
You head south, oh, it's.
yeah,
it is
that's been
horrible.
bad the whole time, yeah.
I mean, I lost a lot of metal from my rusty truck.
Yeah, yeah, that's about the one spot.
Speak to us.
Okay, so I'm Judy Hamaker on behalf of Heartland and Mary Griffin from Holmes Murphy about the insurance.
Now I recognize you guys.
All right,
Yeah,
good. I
I
want to make sure, you.
I have a voice this year. Last year I could barely speak for some reason.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and I'll let Mary go through the numbers and then I'll have a few things.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's just a couple lines that I'm gonna point out, so you'll, for the most part, especially with the property, your inland marine, the increases, it's a flat rate. Their increases are just related to any property value increases or, your equipment increases. The next one on your equipment breakdown coverage, it's not a huge dollar amount in the whole scheme of things, but the percentage of change in the rate is high. The reason for this is, we have traditionally, or had for a long time, been with Cincinnati on the equipment breakdown and Cincinnati Insurance. Last year, they informed us that they were getting out of writing that line unless they wrote the entire program. They don't write counties, so we had no choice but to go out to market. We have 2 quotes in from 2 different other carriers that we are currently negotiating. So with any luck, we'll get that rate down, but this is just, we put in a projection of what we've seen on other accounts, but we're working to get that down. But that, it looks much bigger, but dollar wise, it's not a huge amount in the scheme of things. Your general liability, again, your expenditures are up 15%. Your premium is up 15%. The next big one that I really want to talk about is your work comp. If you look down below, your payroll is flat, but your mod factor, your experience mod factor jumped up a little bit this year from a 0.82 to a 1.0. Unless if you're familiar with it, a 1.0 is actually what the national organization says is average. So you guys have been below average, which is a good in this situation. In a mod, it's good to be below that average. So you had been at a 0.82 and you jumped up to that 1. If you look on the last page of this document, this is just a kind of an overview of that mod. If you look on the right side of that page, halfway down, it shows those are the insurance years that go into that mod factor, 22 through the 24, expiring 25. So in the 23 and 24, you had a little bit higher work comp losses than what the NCCI would expect you to have. You had a little bit lower in 22. So those are the ones that are taken into consideration when they create your mod factor. The middle of the left doesn't show details of the claims, but it just shows, with one claim from 2023, 130,000 has about almost a 16% impact on your mod. Any questions on that?
And then like going forward, then that year for next year will drop off. So the 22-23 year will drop off. So,
And then the current year.
and then the current year will be on. So just depending on how your current year is, it still may be up towards the 1 or so. Just kind of see how the current year turns out. We're new into that, so we won't really know for a while. So just in keeping with that, so.
Get elected till 24, so we can't be responsible.
Well, you could still say your average.
So just for my edification,
Uh-huh.
when we have those types of losses, who determines the amount? Is it based on the consultation between the, typically it's a phone call?
Right, well, so for workers' compensation claims, the medical expenses are, I mean, they are what they are based on what the doctor, treating doctor is.
What the injury is. I
Right,
mean,
what the
we
injury
don't,
is.
I mean, if you have a minor injury, then minor expenses.
Yeah.
You have someone who has a fractured leg, and then you're gonna have more medical. If you have a back surgery.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, that's what's driving it. And
Was
sometimes
this one incident or was it multiple?
that would have been,
Might be just one.
that was the date
Yeah.
of injury. So that's the,
The bridge accident.
Okay. All right, I just want to know why and
Right,
what cost we can do.
yeah, and then I'll kind of, that's something else I'm gonna touch on here. So that'll kind of fit in, but.
And I'll show up.
No, you're good. So, and then just as Mary had said, the rates were flat. Prior to 2023, Heartland had not had any rate increases for any of the counties for over 15 years. There hadn't been a rate study done or any changes in the rates. In 2023, the Heartland Board approved having a rate study done since it had been so long since one had been done. Though that was done and the rates were implemented for the 2024 policy year. So now it's been 3 years again. The Heartland Board has approved a rate study again, which is typical. Most people, they'll do it every year. Heartland's doing it every 3 years. So we'll have a rate study done this year that will go into effect for next year for 7/1 of 27. So we'll see, you may have some changes, liability rates could go down. I mean, the actuary will do that rate study and then we'll know in October when he gives his reports what the rates will be. But the rates are consistent for all 10 counties, so they all get the same based on the losses, so, and what he determines. But then in speaking with regard to the work comp claims, the Heartland Board at the last meeting did approve Creative Risk Solutions handles the work comp claims, handles your claims. They partnered with a company by the name of MedCore. MedCore does injury management, early triage injury management. So Heartland approved utilizing MedCore in conjunction with the work comp claims. And so what that will do, Heartland, there's an initial $250 fee for the setup and then $250 annual fee that is being paid by Heartland. And then if you utilize that, if you have an injury, we're having a rollout call on 6/4 with all the insurance contacts and everything about MedCore. And what they'll do, they'll give out posters. This is effective 7/1. And then there's a number on there. So if someone has an injury, they can call this number and they'll be speaking with a nurse. And then the nurse, so instead of someone who might just go and say, oh, I need to go to the emergency room right now, then they call the number and the nurse assesses the situation and says, okay, well, maybe you just need conservative, let's try ice, Advil, try those things. And then that call in is an $84 call that is charged to the claim file. It's not a charge that comes back to the county other than through the claim file. So they'll take a look at that. So we're hoping to decrease those, those instantaneous, well, we just go to the emergency room. We're trying to let's look at what the injury is. Now, of course, if you have somebody who, cuts off the tip of their finger or, something, we're not going to call that number. You're going to get the care, they're going to get the care. But these are for the non-emergent situations where people can call in and then talk to a medical professional who can assess the situation. So we're hoping, and again, this is a county, it's not mandated by Heartland. It's a county option. So if for some reason, if the county, whatever county would see like this really isn't working for us or, whatever, I mean, that's your decision as a county, but it's there available to you. And then what the other benefit of if they call in through MedCore and report their injury through then MedCore reports that injury to Heartland or to Creative Risk. So then you don't have to be responsible for having someone to report those injuries to Creative Risk. It's automatically done by MedCore for you. So that helps out on that side. So that's just the information about that upcoming. Like I said, we'll have that call on Thursday of this week and get everyone on board on that. Let's see, the other few things I have, with regard to, loss control. So Troy has been out with Holmes Murphy, has been out for his initial assessment, and then his second visit will be for training. Now, what they've offered, what they're offering for the third visit, and that we'd had discussions about this before at the Heartland board meetings, of doing a mock OSHA visit. And so you can select for your third visit, he can either come out and do training or follow up on his assessment. Or if you choose the mock OSHA visit, then another person from Holmes Murphy will come out and do that. And so just kind of give you a view of, okay, what if OSHA did come out, then this person. So most of the counties have been choosing to do but again, it's completely up to you what you'd like to do. So, but that's kind of what we're seeing, that most people are choosing that. So you can think about that. And then like Heather, you can let us know
Sounds good.
in July what you think you guys want to do. So, but we think that'll be a benefit. And then, cause we'll get a report
Oh, yeah.
it'll be a report that kind of shows, hey, this is what we found type thing. And and it won't be Troy. It's like Troy would know where everything's at. So you have somebody different coming in and finding, that. So we have that. And then, just you guys are having your safety committee meetings as required. And if you have the 4 meetings per year as required by Heartland, you get the 10% safety savings discount, which that has been applied. You've had those meetings. So that's good. That's already reflected in your work on premium. And then the only other things, just our upcoming, seminars that we're having. We have the fall seminar is going to be September 10th at the Reinig Center. And so we're going to have, some good presentations. Allie with the People Company is going to give a presentation. And then Mary and Veronica met a gentleman at a Genesis conference that they went to. And so if you want to
Yeah, so we met with Jeff Green. He is the risk manager for Laramie County in Colorado. Been there for a number of years, and he kind of looked at their mod and their accident incidents and really kind of focused on that stuff. And now their mod factor has been in the 0.5 range for quite a while now. So he gives these types of presentations on risk and safety, ergonomics, and ways to try to bring them. Some, various public entities as well as big organizations. So he is willing to come and do a presentation. Holmes Murphy will pay for his transportation. He's not charging for his presentations, but we'll cover the cost of his transportation for that meeting. And we think it could be, a benefit to the counties to see what other counties and other states are doing when they were in similar situations.
So that'll be in September, and then Troy will probably speak, and then Brett Hender's firm will be there to address legal questions and things like that. So everyone's welcome, and I'll send out the invitation in August and things. And then as far as for harassment prevention training, the Heartland Board did approve Brent Hender's firm to do that. So I can get that set up. They'll do 2 visits in 1 day. That's what they're contracted to do, or you can utilize the KPA system for that harassment, that required training. So we'll have that. And like I said, I'll coordinate that. We'll get that done. And then again, this year, we're having the newly elected officials seminar in November 13th, and that will be at the Reinig Center also. So we'll have that, and Brent Hender's firm will present at that, and hopefully be able to do like the IPIB training for the open meetings and things like that. So, and then just other questions just for those newly elected or current elected officials that we may have. It's kind of what we have set up for the year. So any other questions?
I have one. So I received a message from Medicare. I don't know if there's an impact with the way they input people into the hospital. It says that they put them down as for observation. It doesn't count for the inpatient 3 days for payments. And I don't know if that impacts anything that you guys are doing. But
yeah.
So it's basically what the alert is, if they put you down as observation, it doesn't start the clock on inpatient care and then the payment. So it makes the patient responsible for all of the pay.
Oh, yeah, so that wouldn't, pertaining to.
Yeah, you guys
That
are-
was work, if it's a work injury, work comp is paying for that, so.
Okay.
Like they ask you on that, in your screener when you go in, if it was an accident, they have to
Yeah,
know whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, Bill.
They want to make sure that they're billing the right people.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I did it in the federal, it goes all the way to Washington DC. Some lady calls you from Washington to talk about it.
Yeah.
So, okay. I'm good.
Any other questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks for that.
Update from public health regarding services on.
Just thought I would give you an update regarding our voluntary certification. We've been busy reviewing all of our policies and updating them. They can't have anything to do with Medicare or referenced in our policies. Title changes and jobs being eliminated. Notifications were sent to patients and we're updating forms for our patient charts. We're reviewing our contracts and terminating ones that are no longer needed. David has been helping with one of them and then contacted Brent. We sent that back to them. They wanted us to pay out a 3-year contract and we'll see how that ends up. We're reviewing our office logistics and we'll be moving offices from one side of the hallway, so we're all on one side. We're discontinuing unneeded phones and I've been in contact with David about that. Referrals have dropped considerably since we've been going through this process. That will impact our projected revenues for this year and possibly next year. We're transitioning to new restructured department and working with Chad Weaver regarding services to veterans and looking at referral sources. We'll be promoting our services. The voluntary termination, decertification termination notices have been accepted by the Medicare and Medicaid. When we met in February, we had 91 patients, and as of last Friday, we're down to 46. And some of those had transitioned to Unity Point Grinnell or Unity Point Waterloo, and then one went to Iowa Home Care. Otherwise, the other Medicare patients were discharged. They had met their goals. Just thought I would let you know too that we have received some referrals. One of the gentlemen had maggots on the bottom of his feet and had to be looked at. One of our nurses went into a patient's home, and after she sat down there, she noticed bed bugs you normally don't see during the daylight. This was during the day, sitting in her living room, crawling on her. She'd flick them off. The patient was flicking them off. And then another patient that we just recently went and saw, he had lice on his chest hair. So that's the type of homes that we're going into and providing services to.
Too much information.
And thank you to the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
All we had railroad dust.
Could be worse.
Yeah.
Any other questions or anything? That's all I wanted to report today.
No, thanks for the report.
Thank
I
you.
will not be there today, so.
You won't be here today?
You'll miss something.
Wanna go for me?
You'll miss something.
You wanna go for me?
Time.
Noon,
Big nose.
Meal.
free meal. I try.
All right. Thank you. Discussion of possible action to consider rescinding prior action changing the 8th of June regular meeting date and time because we have another meeting that's on that Monday.
You have a public hearing that day.
So we'll just keep a regular meeting before that day, so I have to make Monday and Tuesday next week essentially, so we'll need a motion, I guess, to move that,
Last week,
back.
David made the motion to change it and Homer seconded. Would you guys like to rescind your motions?
I would.
Let's just make a motion to change it back since it's a different,
Do we have to rescind it first before we change it back or not?
I just,
Treat it as a new
since it's a
thing.
new meeting, we have to have a new motion, just to switch it back.
So I'll make a motion that we change our meeting that we originally changed to the 9th back to the 8th at regular time.
And number second.
You second
I
it?
followed it one time, it was wrong, why do I wanna follow it now?
Good point.
I'll second it.
What's on Tuesday?
The campus.
Yeah, the canvas.
What time?
Please, what you guys said.
Was it 8:30?
That was
8:30.
We're changing to the.
So public clarification, we'll meet Monday and Tuesday, 8:30 both days, correct?
Yes.
In here.
In here, yep, election.
How many
canvass is
people have to be here for the canvas? 3 at least? 3. At least 3.
Why are you gonna be here?
I'll be here.
I knew it.
Okay, all those in favor of changing it back, say aye.
Aye.
Oops, motion carries. Discussion and possible action on courthouse lawn policy. I reached out and this is the information that I got back, from their Enders. You know, somebody else that was working on that. It's a long time coming, but, there it is. The one thing that I didn't notice is he's got ordinance on the top of it, so if it's an ordinance, we can't really approve it without having a public hearing. And if there's one already in place, we have to include language rescinding the old one and then replacing it with this rescind and replace language. We have to reach back out to. If it's a policy, I don't think that we have to do it. And so, is there one in place now? With the ordinance,
Not
I didn't
not
notice that.
ordinance.
Not an ordinance.
it's just a policy as well.
There is a policy then.
What's the board's pleasure do you want an ordinance? Ordinance is a little bit harder to change. In the future. Get public input in that kind of, if they have a public hearing.
Are we both serve the same purpose, like besides
I'd be
one's harder
fine
than
with
the other?
I'd be fine with just the policy. I think that'd be a good outline.
Yeah.
Such, if we gotta jump through all the hoops to get us an ordinance.
Yeah,
we
no,
really need
required
that.
to.
Right.
You know, we already all understand that
Yeah.
how the courthouse lawn's laid out. I mean,
Well, this goes further than just the law. This starts addressing things inside the courthouse, so I think we should go with a policy. Because some of the stuff we have on here needs to be addressed outside.
Yep. It does accomplish what we wanted to do, I think. And it's permission to Karen to grant, I mean, as long as they meet all of these, they don't have to come before this board.
Right.
But they do have to have a permit 5 days ahead of time. That permit, is issued by Karen's office or her designee. And pretty clear on what's allowed and what is not.
Are you talking about this document here
Mm-hmm.
rather than a policy?
this would be the policy.
Yeah,
Right, there's no, we make this. a
Make
policy
this
instead
a
of an ordinance.
policy, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. But I think we need to do some wordsmithing on it too.
They gave it in, they've done their wordsmithing and say finally. They presented it as like,
I understand that, but my point being is there's some stuff in here that's not correct.
Yes.
All right, because it talks about weapons. And that, what you can do with them. I'm hard over on following the law. And then bringing weapons into the courthouse, that's a different courthouse, but the hallways and stuff like that. I know this. Short. The chief judge of the Supreme Court of Iowa has pushed the policy a little farther than what the original code said. And so this is incorrect with what is in front of, for example, any courtroom, deliberation room, or any other area marked personal or one of the hallways they have in there that's off limits is no longer off limits based on the law. And so I just want to be, before we put out policies, they need to be correct. So I'm not for an ordinance. I would be happy to do this as a policy, but I still think we need to challenge a couple of things first before we would go forward with it.
where's that one at?
Any firearm, knife, explosive or object intended to cause harm. 2D, that's 2D.
I saw that, that's just in definitions though, like where is
Yeah.
it for
And then when you go here, prohibited conduct, bringing weapons into the courthouse except by peace officers otherwise authorized by law. That,
You wanted to say courthouse room?
no, the chief judge is allowed to do any courthouse where everything in the courthouse is only court only. They can ban weapons except by law enforcement. All right. One of the offices up there is a joint use office. That's not courthouse only. So that takes that out of the issue. So
You wanna just redline it and send it back to Aaron or Mark?
what did it accomplish it under C where it says?
or is otherwise authorized by law. I think it needs to be clarified to say, joint use. Or something to that effect.
If the law permits it, it's pretty rare.
Okay, all right. I'll deal with the sheriff.
I think that captures it though.
I think it does too, but the problem is they've got
It's the interpretation of that, if you want clarification, how do you?
My point being is they've got it posted on the doorway saying it's banned.
Mhm.
They don't understand the rule. That's my problem. So I can deal with the sheriff.
So it's more than just the document
Yeah.
today, it's not done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the document doesn't have anything to do with that. Necessarily.
Yeah, but as long as it's a policy and not an ordinance, I'm happy.
And it needs sent back to Brent to change that up here.
I think we can just strike it,
Okay.
because on our agenda it specifically says policy, I didn't read the heading, because I asked for a policy.
Does our policies have numbers or dates usually, or just?
If it was done by resolution, then this is just a policy.
And I didn't do this because it said lawn policy, didn't say anything about the whole building. And this addresses the whole building.
Yeah. Would this be enforceable by the sheriff's office, Casey, if we passed it as a policy, for the courthouse and the courthouse lawn?
I don't know.
It says enforcement, section 8. Court security, sheriff's deputies and other designated law enforcement officers may order any person violating this purpose, but if we say policy, to leave courthouse property.
Me off guard, so.
Sorry.
Hmm.
Well, it's good that you're here. On the back page, or did I, yeah, you got it.
We'd have to change that.
Yeah, anything that said ordinance has to be changed to policy.
The policy.
Yeah, I mean, it would be no different than any other private property, public property. I mean, that's why you have to do the policy for it being a public courthouse lawn in order to be trespassed. So I don't see any issues with it as long as it is in policy. Yeah, I
Think if we just strike anything that says ordinance and replace it with policy, still gives you the same authority. The only thing that makes it more difficult is if it's gonna be changed, you can pass it with a separate,
Right.
which
Which is, I would agree, that's why I like policies versus ordinance. Went back to that. Yeah, well, the first ordinance we got rid of.
They think it gives you the authority, it's a law of order, still passed by the board to enact the policy, it's just how you get there. So we're good with it. Move forward.
I think I'm good with it. The only question I would have is legally, does it have to be an ordinance in order for it to be
Well,
charged?
that's why I read the severability section and
I don't think you can charge someone with a crime if it's a policy.
no,
If it's an ordinance, you can.
Well, if they're breaking a different law, that's probably going to be why we're enforcing the policy. Because it's already illegal to obstruct justice, you know.
Right.
For trespass.
Like, what are we doing now? I mean, we have nothing now.
Right.
I mean, that would be correct, if there is an issue and somebody starts, obstructing, I mean, that's a crime in and of itself.
Right.
However, if the mechanism to getting to that obstruction is unconstitutional or not an ordinance, that may be where the issue lies. Policy is not, a policy violation will not be criminal in nature, it would just be a policy.
And I was just researching everything, so initially it says it can be a policy, because we can still set things, but then later it says enforcement, mechanism. While a board resolution dictates official county policy, if the policy aims to impose criminal penalties or fines on individuals, it typically requires a formal ordinance.
That's what I'm,
It governs usage, and permitting a board approved policy or resolution usually is okay.
But any person who refuses to comply or returns after being ordered to leave may be subject to arrest for trespass or obstruction of justice. You can do that on.
Right, that's a regular trespass rule. So if you're asked to leave, you have to leave, and if you don't, then you can be cited for trespass, and once you're cited for trespass, which is separate from a policy.
What did we do when we set rules for this meeting? Was that a resolution or policy?
It was an ordinance, and we got rid of the ordinance.
But is it a resolution
No,
or?
we had to do an ordinance.
Or
we repealed and replaced the ordinance.
So would it be better than to do an ordinance that's forcible completely with no question or not?
We
I
could.
mean, I get it,
always-
it's a
I
pain to
always
go
just
through the
thought-
public meetings, but I just don't.
I always just thought if people are violating the law, it doesn't matter.
Right.
If it's an ordinance or
Well, and I think it said somewhere in here that the, statewide guidelines from Iowa judicial branch allow local county committees and judges to implement security measures such as weapons, prohibitions and safety. So like they could also have their own thing too. I don't know if they do today or not. I don't think they probably have
the
some,
state
but-
law outlines us as the custodians with the cooperation of
Yeah,
the county auditor.
Yep.
To make those rules.
it's like that Benton County, they have rules for use of Benton County courthouse grounds. And they have the application, and then they have a whole harmless clause that has to be signed.
Was it an ordinance?
It doesn't say, it just says rules for use. There's no, it doesn't say ordinance, policy, or resolution. It's just saying what everybody else have it. Do we wanna bring it back to Brent just to verify? Or do we, what's the date of what's being scheduled over here? Is that
it's the 14th of June one.
the 14th? Or we can approve it as a policy and then come back and change it if we need. I mean, whatever we prefer to do.
Yep, that's the only, I'm not afraid of running it through the ordinance process, just.
We run out of time.
We have more people, several events coming up and we wanted something to
Yeah,
govern it. And since he got this back to us,
yep. So approve it for now and then still run it by Brent, just to verify.
yeah, you said this is from Hinders.
Yes.
And, and intern, I think that's, they're working on it.
I have no doubt that it's from his office, it's squared away.
Mhm.
Is it only one group at a time? Like if there was two groups that wanted to do it at the same time?
I think that they would,
It would be there's already an event there, I was gonna say, yeah, I did see that. I just wanna make sure, or like if there's devil's advocate, if there's gonna be 24 people for the meeting. Are they avoiding much by doing it that way though? Is there any other waiver or form, or is it just the application?
just the application, I think, and if there's multiple, if it's going to interfere with other events, then we'd have to deny it.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess my question is, because we do have like the Bible readers have already been in asking for permission and we told them they didn't need to since at this time. This wasn't coming about, and also the Camp Creamery people, we told them they didn't need to do anything because it was less than the 50 people that you guys had designated before, so what do we do in those situations?
So it's 25 now, so would they be less than? Would they be less than?
They already said that they didn't need to do this because it wasn't in the works, so.
Yep.
But how, just my knee-jerk reaction to the, any public gathering involving 25 or more persons on courthouse grounds, I mean.
That's an issue with the the market, because that has more than 25, just with the vendors alone.
Yeah.
But also, how are you,
Can you really enforce that?
can you really predict how many people you're gonna have show up to a certain event? I mean, you can,
Yeah.
you know, I can walk in and say, hey, I wanna use the courthouse ground, it's just, it's the event I'm having, it's, you know, we're playing Pokemon or whatever, and all of a sudden you have 100 people show up. I mean, I think that would cause an issue with bidding.
Why was that number put, why was that unnumbering put there?
25,
Yeah.
I had suggested 75 before. I think that we agreed on 50, you know, when we were looking at it before. Cause 25 could be a bus of students that stop, you know, just for a picnic lunch.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have to have a permit. And they should have access to it. So I thought 50 would be more, I thought 75 would be more.
Yeah, 75 makes more sense, even 100. I mean, look at the farmer's market. You know, like on a few of those days, there's a lot more people there than.
Typically farmers markets have to get permission.
I was gonna say, I would think they would have a permit when they.
In any other county.
They
That happens.
No, but you just, yeah, they just, like, you can only start selling at 5 once you blows the whistle.
Who's gonna enforce the amount of people?
Right.
True.
Somebody sit there with a clicker.
Oh, well, that's,
Yeah, it's not written for people who are compliant. It's the ones that are not.
No.
That's.
I think that's what makes the number. People are there breaking the law. This gives us a little bit of a footing to. And if there's going to be an event, it reserves the place for them.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is the placeholder, no matter how many people, unless it's just like your family of 3 going out there, you know, but I think for Karen to know if there's 7 students coming, you know, so there's not multiple groups at once, all showing up, you know, or Dirk can go mow it in advance or something, you know, just more of that, but.
I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to know how many people are showing up, but I don't think it should be a determining factor on whether a permit's granted or not.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to know if there's 1,000 people showing up,
Well,
you know?
there's a difference between 100 and 1,000. That's where you would like to know the difference.
Casey's having a cookout, they'll get 1,000 people.
But
Well, I mean, that's, yeah, cookout, you bring more than 25 people, so
Yeah.
do I need a permit?
If you're on your Pokemon thing, it'll definitely be less than 25.
I don't know.
But this is an issue to kind of not have people need permits, right? I mean, or you're saying nobody should need a permit.
Well, I'm not saying nobody should need a permit, but I don't think that I don't know how you would phrase it in the permit required. Because again, I mean, if you have an event that you're not planning on 25 and then 50 show up.
Right.
I don't think that should be held against the person asking for the permit.
But again, that's what Mark said, just, it's not, this is not for the people that are compliant. You know what I mean? If it's just, if it's the ones that aren't compliant, and then you say, hey, you got more people here.
And to me, it just sounds like you're opening yourself up for issues with, can't think of the right word, right? Targeting if we're not being compliant or we're not, right? I just think you're opening yourself up for more issues than intended with that type of policy.
So it's an unintended consequence. If, we have to be very careful when we start impinging on people's liberty.
Yeah, is it better to just not have a policy though?
Well, I thought we did that. I thought we went away from having a policy. Basically saying, yeah, just tell us you're gonna be there, just so we
We
know.
have people requesting permission, and so,
Yeah,
you know,
Cause you can still enforce if they start, getting out of control, obviously you're gonna enforce it regardless, right?
so I thought when we did this whole thing, it was, all we wanted people to do was tell us they were gonna be there so we could deconflict, not say you can't be there, you can't come, and it was, I thought we did away with all of
We
that.
pretty much did away with it and said they wouldn't even have to contact us if it was 50 people or less. So we have had people come in and say, hey, I would like to use the club, and they're like, how many people do you have planning? And if they say 25, like, well, thanks for telling us, but we really didn't need to know because it's open to the public.
Right,
True,
and
which is how it should be.
I really like that. I mean, you'll hear me start talking a lot more about liberty.
Our fingers are always crossed that it's under 50 people when they come in.
So you changed to 75?
Right? That's 50 people, right?
I couldn't hear what you said.
I just think we have to be careful with,
Yeah.
First Amendment rights and then, yeah.
I want us to be the freest county in the whole state of Iowa. And the safest and the friendliest and the best.
That's why I live here, David.
Then we can see if we can't get Karen to move off of here. Just kidding.
That could just move to town. Here, move to town.
There's no ducks in town.
There will be when the winds blow the right way.
So how do we accomplish what we're trying to do?
Why did this even come up?
Because people were asking for permission to use the courthouse lawn with more,
With more than 50.
This was for the above 50.
yeah. Well, before it was less, they don't need permission if it's 50 or less, or 75 or less. So we were trying to use it as a mechanism to give people permission to reserve it because they love, to be there. And so it was organically brought to us, and so this is the reaction, the response to that.
So we or she has responsibility for the courthouse, correct? Maintenance and everything, right? And did we not say in our meeting, you said 50? I didn't think we put a number on it, but that was my error. I like 75, 100, or whatever. The only thing I would ask is they let us know they're gonna be there, just not for permission, just for deconflicting it. Like if you said, I got 100 people coming and I show up and go, hey, I got 50 people, one family's got 10. Well, that's fine. Just so you know, you'll be sharing the grounds with them.
Yeah, it needs to be more of a notification thing, maybe, like to Karen, like, so maybe we just need to do like a simple resolution that just says like, do we put any number? Do we just say, if you're able to, please let the auditor know, within 5 days of your event for scheduling or something?
But the other factor is the county owns everything but the bandstand.
Yeah.
So
When I talked to the county attorney about it, he said, well, whatever permission is given should be given and agreed upon by
The city and the county, if one says no, it's a no, because you're not gonna have an event at the bandstand without using the courthouse lawn.
Yeah. Are they doing any kind of a policy ordinance for the bandstand? Or we don't?
They are, they're working on something, like right now, right, this week, tonight, maybe. That's what
Well, it's not-
the.
They're not meeting tonight, are they?
What, Toledo, what,
Toledo, yeah.
what?
Yeah, Toledo's not meeting.
Toledo was talking about this.
Toledo,
For the bandstand.
They talked about it last week, the meeting was last week, Tables this week, they were, what the hell was it?
For the bandstand.
Sorry, catching everyone off guard, man, they were, they'd never had a policy before, they, sent it to, like, they were getting like a council member and Marquez together, if I remember right, that, like, a couple
Oh,
people,
yeah.
to like, you know, think about like, what the hell that actually was gonna be in it, but it was, if I remember right, don't like quote me on it, cause it's way too early for that, but, they were thinking like, you know, whoever, but, you know, like, community events get priority, so like, if there's like,
If I'm gonna sing there, I'm not accused.
exactly, for like the farmer's market, if they're using the bandstand for like a singer or whatever, then that gets priority, but other than that, they don't really care. So, yeah.
We maybe see what they come up with.
Yeah.
Let's say Jake, is online and he asked if, you've looked into what other counties have enacted and wondered if it could be addressed through a form so that if somebody gets injured or gets hurt, they sign a waiver.
Yeah.
So what happens if that was a street and they get hurt?
That's the
Street
problem.
Cause Ben County did have a waiver out there that could be signed, it could just be let her know and sign a waiver or something.
But then again, I mean, is that gonna be everybody that shows up?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
You trip on the sidewalk. Were you on Tama's side or were you on Toledo's side?
That's true, cause I wanna go eat there with my family or something, like, that seems.
I would say if I just show up over there and have a picnic on the courthouse lawn, is Casey gonna come out and say, did you get a permit?
I will.
Yeah.
When we did it in Pahasky County, they had to turn in insurance with their application saying that whatever their event is covered. Wow.
For like bigger events or just anything?
And yeah, it was the farmer's market essentially.
Yeah, cause I get on the biggest things, yeah.
That group covers whoever's there.
Yeah.
The air conditioner just shut off.
I just kicked it too.
Okay.
Everybody like got caught in it.
Sounds like we got some more work to do on that. Figure it out.
I mean, I would think if you're an organization that wants to use the lawn, that's one thing. You know, or the LLC. But I mean, just people showing up to do whatever, I'm not sure that. Not sure how far into the weeds you wanna get with it,
Yeah.
cause I think it just opens up.
Yeah,
More
it's to keep on adding and modifying it.
Right.
Trying to cover every situation, it's not easy.
Can't this go into the same sort of a category as like the Geyser Trail Parks, Toledo Heights Parks? I mean, how are those all handled? And wouldn't this be very, very similar to that? Why couldn't it be very similar to that?
To the city policies, you mean like the cities, whether or not
sure.
they have one, I don't know.
All the cities got it.
I think we just need to research it.
They all have very nice parks that people are using all the time.
Well, the city's putting together a committee that includes an attorney that's going to write some policy for the city of Toledo, and that's going to address the bandstand, so I think that we should look at whatever they're doing and maybe piggyback up what we do. So we'll see what they come up with.
Yeah.
See what they come up with.
Good discussion on that.
Yeah.
Schindler,
The next one's,
I know.
I know.
Why are these on there?
Because they asked for permission, that's why.
Well, Karen gets those, right? But that's because you're saying it's more than 50, right? That's why it's.
Well, it's because the city told them that they needed permission from the county for
for the second one. But for the stoplight festival, do they get permission every year? No?
But they just have it, right?
Okay, well, I think that we could at least give them permission. So
I'll make a motion that Stoplight Festival can use it.
Okay,
I'll second it.
it's been moved and seconded. All those,
Solve that problem.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Discussion possible action on use of courthouse lawn for electing my walk. That's a lot.
So can we two out?
Pipeline slushies for June 5th farmers market. The city also, so is that, the farmers market. So anything that's part of the farmers market, I just assumed that they could use the courthouse lawn.
I don't think they're planning on using the courthouse anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I met with the city a few weeks ago, with one of their meetings about it. Yeah, their biggest concern when we initially submitted our, request was that the way we wanted to be set up, the way that they've been set up in the past, was we were gonna park like in the parking spaces where everybody else for the farmers market parks, and then we would serve on the sidewalk. Well, then you have that gray area, well, we're parked on the street, but that's city, and we're serving on the sidewalk, that's part of the courthouse square. So their solution, was to close the street off, we're gonna push our trailer back into the street, and then we'll serve in the parking spaces, so. I don't really know if there's any action.
anything on the lawn.
No, I mean, unless
Yeah.
something carries, we're gonna have a roped off area, and I asked the city that too, I said, well. Our couches are resealable, so what if they're drinking in our serving area and then they seal it and they walk away and then they are drinking it, and said, how do we enforce that? And that's where Danny said, well, that's up to us to enforce, so.
Okay. You see a problem with that?
So I don't know, moving forward though, like for future events, if that's. If you guys would rather it be not closing the street, I mean, that's a city thing, but, that's their solution to it, so.
Yeah,
So do they have to get a license from the state to do that?
Yeah.
They get their,
Oh, you have?
Yeah,
but they get that to the
Yep.
city. So it's a-
Yeah,
Yep.
city
okay,
limits.
they already have that.
And it's already, that's already in place.
Right.
We already, do we vote on that or not?
No, because
No.
the city did.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because they closed the street and made it city.
we did like the Chelsea, like the.
Michael, are you laughing at this?
I didn't have, what? No, I just wanna make sure we don't get anybody busted.
Hey,
You know,
But it has been kind of a complicated ordeal because it seems like years past when the same owners did it, there hasn't been any, they've submitted all their stuff, that everything went through, and today or this year, we've had a lot of hiccups trying to jump through hoops and get it approved, which is fine. We're just trying to make sure we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Right. yeah. Well, Nikki had reached out a couple weeks ago
Right,
to
just
me.
asking.
That's why I got clarification from Brent and,
I just wanna point out, it's on our flag.
Sit down. But my thought was, run it by the board at least to give specific permission if it was needed. And so sounds like it's a result of that.
Doesn't sound like it's needed anymore.
No, I mean, if we, for future, if we do it again, we'll just probably do the same thing and close the street and.
That works.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Yep.
Well, that's a no action, right?
It's a whole small town thing, right?
Good. Discussion of possible action to approve a time capsule for the 250th anniversary of the US on the courthouse lawn.
It's gonna be a picture of you in it.
No, we've got our friendly lawyer back there.
Yeah,
Mark,
Yes.
members of the board, I'm glad to
Yes.
stop by.
sure.
We're finishing up the project this week.
Mhm.
It should be done by Wednesday. And, you know, we did some damage to the sidewalks around there, you guys. We've been working with Dirk Henley.
Okay.
And so we're replacing those sidewalks and doing that one, on the east there, well, north and south. So those sidewalks will all be redone. And then we're putting the lamps back up there and putting brick around those. And there'll be a plaque that Latitude and Gردell was doing for us. And we'll be thanking donors, both in kind and in money. And also we'll be thanking the city and the Board of Supervisors, Tama County. So that'll all be on a plaque that we're going to do and put on one of the pillars where one of the lights are. And we're doing some trees there. two or three different trees
Right.
and Dirk knows about those. So, I think maybe the city, has, appointed a committee at their last meeting to come up with some rules on, the leasing and the using of we wanna make it a donation to everybody, that it won't cost anything, but I know there's some exceptions to that, and that's up to you folks to set a policy and the city can set one.
Yep.
And we'll all get along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
What do you think about a 250th time capsule?
yeah, we've talked about that and I think that'd be fine.
You already have a whole Doug for that with a safe lock on top so they can put stuff in.
Yes, yeah, yeah, it is. No, that'd be fine, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really hadn't taken any action on that, but, we'd be more than happy to have you do that, yeah.
Okay.
Well, if they're already digging out there, does it make sense to
That's
do
my
it
question.
sooner than later?
Make a big
before
enough
grass
hole to
seeded?
put
It's under the sidewalk.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Just have like your,
When you guys wanna talk to, Tim?
Brian Sokol is the one that asked for permission, so if we give him permission, I think that he'll probably remember.
I'm gonna talk to Brian this morning. I'm gonna call him.
Okay.
He's the chairman of my fundraising committee, and I called him last Friday. And anytime I need money, he disappears. So I went around.
Same here.
Is that what happens here, you guys? So anyway, I hope I can get a hold of him this morning. We'll have him talk to Tim. That's fine. Let's put a time capsule over there, yes.
There's one on July 10th at the Stoplight Festival, but again,
That's when they wanna do it?
I
Yes.
guess.
They do what, Heather?
I think Brian was wanting it during the Stoplight Festival to
Yeah.
do the time capsule.
Oh, did you?
I was just saying, it's already dug up, but I guess by then you're gonna have
It's gonna be
to
close.
seed it, so then it's gonna be seeding it.
Like I did putting it under the sidewalk, cause you could then just take the sidewalk, that piece off,
Yeah,
when they open it up,
or you 250 build it into the sidewalk.
Yeah.
We'll have him
You have
talk
a
with,
little top.
we'll have him
So I
talk
was
with
thinking
Tim,
like a-
and whatever
a
they
window.
wanna do is fine with me.
Yeah, I think that.
With a picture of Casey. You walk over the sidewalk.
We have rock around the base of the bandstand now. We took that old concrete out. He's redoing the surface of the bandstand. The roof will stay the same as it is now, the same color and everything. We might stain it later on. And, let's see, other than that, they're putting the lights down and finishing up the sidewalks. And we know that, there's probably gonna have to be some seeding done, so I just thought maybe Denise and Tim could visit with Dirk about that, to get it seeded
Yeah,
down.
there's one.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Jim.
So,
Very good.
yeah,
Thank
we
you.
can't thank the supervisors enough.
You could, but.
A big asset, to Tama County, kidding, you guys.
Yeah, well,
Makes your courthouse look pretty nice, yeah.
Yes, thank
Thanks
you.
for all the work you've done
Yeah,
on
that's fine, fine. I've got another project coming. I'll be back to see you.
Oh, you,
it. All right, that means the park areas over there between them buildings?
Yes.
All right, I got it. It's not my area, it's in his area.
I wanna get that one wall fixed up
Uh-huh.
east and,
Painted,
I'll do a mural there.
there you go.
Nice, that'll be good.
That'd be nice.
Is Jim's new project to build the jail?
no.
No?
We tried that once. Jared Bush and I did. Oh, we didn't get it. Yeah, well, we got what we have now, but we didn't get it.
Right.
Big enough jail, did we?
No,
No.
Good try.
we need more.
We also tried to build a new courthouse, but that didn't work out and I'm glad we failed. Thanks a lot for your help.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Joe's outside the door. You're Joe.
All right, going to, make a motion for the capsule.
So moved.
Yes.
Second it.
Second, discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oops, motion carries. Discussion and possible action, this was yours, David,
Yeah.
2151K to discuss information contained in records in the custody of a governmental body that are confidential records pursuant to 22.7 section.
So should we do the claims before that, in case people don't want to stick around for?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should just do the rest of it, so then everybody can leave, like the claim.
Oh, yeah,
Cause it's not gonna be, I'm not gonna make it long. I just wanna make it.
Yep, we can jump down.
didn't do anything.
Mike, we're buds. we're good.
Yeah, I didn't do anything. I don't know what the hell's happening.
All right, go ahead with claims.
All right, I've got two claims formed here. Mike, you ready to copy them?
Yep.
Okay, good. This one here is for the administrative fees for task TASC. That's the amount of, the task cards that.
It's our, yep, and it comes out of the health fund, that's why it's.
Right, so it's in the amount of $1,455.40. 1,455.40. I make a motion that we approve that one.
Second.
Okay, been moved and seconded. Discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
And the next one is the normal claims, but it's not normal, it's really big because we moved some money around. Typical done at the end of the year, so it's 339, comma, 610, period, 90. $339,610.90, and I make a motion, we approve that.
Okay,
I'll second.
been seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Paid the bills.
Okay, make sure we got them.
Any other public comments?
This, just to avoid, problem, the letters from the editor, things like that. Is there a little bit of an explanation as to why $340,000 this week compared to most weeks? Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, it's because of the $250,000 payment that the county provides to 911 for their budget.
Thank you, because you know how that's gonna go. Thank you.
Yep. Anything else?
So I think the discussion started pretty heavily on the courthouse because of the project that Berlin wants to do very shortly here, which is what, a week away or something, June something? June, was it June 14th? Yeah, Flag Day.
Yeah.
That's when this really got started.
It was last year. We've had other courthouse lawns where we just weren't sure what to do and so we were researching, but it's been last year we started looking into it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else?
Well, yeah, one more, the K Avenue thing, so, I was really glad.
You already spoke on that one today.
No, I was really glad that you brought up, that you can't just dust control long-term, what his word was, forever. You can't just do that on just one road in a whole county with the dust factors. I was glad you brought that up, for your own road. Thank you.
Yeah, and there's been other calls like the FS plant that was put out on E29, you know, the lights, the dust. I mean, there's other businesses that do affect, unfortunately. It's not fun when you live by it, but it's.
We have to pay for our own dust control.
Pardon me?
We have to pay for our own dust control if we want it.
I was surprised nobody said that to this group. Why didn't you guys pay for it as a group?
I just like that.
It's like, I thought Dean would come in on that one. It's like, well, I just paid for mine. Why didn't you guys pay for yours? So, yeah. Okay. Thanks.
I could use some dust control on my road.
I don't need any.
Nobody goes on your road anyhow, Turner.
Well, nonstop, because it's a shortcut to 30.
Oh, they're using it now too.
I don't dust control mine. I'll have to deal with the dust.
Just wear your mask from COVID.
Or shut your windows on your house.
I live out in the country. What do you expect?
Well, we do come across a lot of the Amish. They're driving the electric bicycles.
Oh, yeah.
And buggies, cause there's a meeting house up on 8,
Yep.
or no, on F and 285th.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they'll have buggies there and tons of.
Hardly any four-wheelers are going on K Avenue now. I mean, it was, that everybody was on there with golf carts and four-wheelers just, piddling around, and walkers also, bicycles, but there's hardly any of that now for the whole last month. Yeah, they pretty much, disappeared. Good thing, good thing.
If you're gonna buy a new car and you wanna test its quietness, you need to drive on that washboard, because that'll tell you.
Okay, new business.
New business. Supervisor reports.
I got none.
One thing I told you guys I'd bring back was, for the zoning commission board of adjustment, how we appoint people to that. There's one board adjustment, one zoning that are, their terms are ending the end of June. I know anybody can apply. There's, I think the board adjustment one wants to continue, the zoning one does not, so we do have for sure an open zoning commission, but again, anybody can apply for the board adjustment as well. It's out there on our county website. Paul had helped with that and Karen. So if you go to the Tama County's website, then go to the supervisors tab under departments, go to supervisors, then go to board and commission under the supervisors page, and then under boards and commissions applications. So it's shorter than usual, and then people can submit additional pages, like if it's but that way it's not a normal full job application that asks where you worked, what you've made for money. It's just very simple to why you want to do this, how much time you can devote, things like that. Do you live in town or in the country? Because some boards you have to live in the rural areas. You can't live in cities for like board of adjustment and zoning commission. So that is out there. We will need to appoint by, around that June 30th time period. For sure on zoning or reappoint or appoint somebody on board of adjustment at that same time. So want to put that plug in there.
So clarification, you said one for each board?
There's one for each board that's their term's coming due.
Okay.
Correct. Yep.
So
So
we haven't heard if they want.
the board of adjustment wants to stand, which again, other people can still apply. It's not like we have to give it. And then the zoning commission, they do not want to, the person that's up. So we do have an open.
One for sure and possibly another.
Yeah. And one thing I learned watching, there was another county, you can actually have more than 5, like, cause zoning's a lot of work right now because they're doing all the ordinances, the land use plan, so if we could get more people too, that's always an option too, just to have.
So they got
it's going on, or just more ideas, but yeah, I don't know what that perfect number is, but it's an option, so, yep.
Time's the train come through town today?
11:15, is it
11:15. It's 11:15.
11:15 to 11:45 or something, I think.
It'll be in Tama from 11:15 to 11:45.
The big train.
David,
The
you
big
guys,
way.
you guys got anything on your?
I don't, I just
I do have a new business thing I forgot to ask. I had a guy ask, if you have your own sprayer, can you apply your own?
Yes,
Dust
with the
control?
permit from the.
With the permit from the secondary road, that's
There's like
$50.
a rules
It's gotta
out
be
there,
okay.
isn't it, right?
All right.
And it'll tell them what they can use, can't use.
Yeah.
It's kind of a,
It's on the website, isn't it? Under the engineers, I believe.
yeah,
I'll let him know.
yeah, but yeah, there is a small fee.
Yeah.
A closed session. And the motion, you ready for this?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, we're moving in a second and then we'll have to do a roll call.
Homer,
Aye.
Turner,
Aye.
Nibble, Nolan,
Aye.
Hooker.
Aye.
Do, recess for break, restroom break. Yep, to give everybody a chance to drink.
All right.
Hey, Michelle. Michelle, just letting you know you're sharing your screen currently. I don't know if you were going to put anything up there or not, but we can see it out here.
So I think any direction that we could give you, like, if you're asking for direction.
Yeah.
Anybody got any ideas? My only thought was, obviously, the one that made the most sense. We're definitely not to take an official action until we approve the contract. So bring back the contract after you negotiate whether they do or whether they don't.
Sure.
I think that you're going in the right direction. And I think that as you bring that to the public's attention, we'll know how much savings there are and how much work you put into that. So,
Yeah, I think you're going down the right.
proper response.
I agree with Mark too. I think that's well worth the work you put into it, definitely.
That is, yeah, thank you.
So, just to be clear, so we would leave Access alone with what they have. We would leave Xerox alone with the provisions that they are bringing forward.
And to get rid of that one. Gets rid of.
Right, so it's going to save us money. The only, like I said, the only concern is I will send Travis that document from Brent. Yep, so they're
Either way, it's not a deal breaker, probably. It's just something that we're asking for, right?
To David it is. He's
Yeah,
got it done, Cliff.
I please Travis.
Yeah. You're not gonna be getting one of those from the other.
No, well, wouldn't have to because of existing
I
contracts.
mean, everybody's gonna do that same thing, so
Yeah.
just, can you get it better and try it? Yeah,
Anything you can get's better than we have.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Very good.
So
So you'll bring it back on,
I will bring it back this, well,
So that's they get back from the attorney.
yeah, so look, can we just put it on next week's
Yeah.
might as well put it
agenda
on,
again?
cause you need it before the end of the fiscal year.
Yes, yes.
Monday.
Put that on next week's agenda.
Yeah, Monday or Tuesday.
On Mondays.
Let's say, let's make Monday
Okay,
bigger.
the other issue that has anything to do with, so from supervisor report, I sent that issue about the $30,000 for public health, and she mentioned it today. I sent that to Brent also, and based on the information that was sent to Brent, he says, I don't see where we open unless there's something else out there that we don't have. And if they hadn't provided it to us beforehand, then I think Brent would say, well, no. So we may not have to pay the 30,000 for public health. So I'm getting used to challenging these things, so we need to look at the contracts closely. To make sure that people aren't sticking to the county. Good, so. All right, so I'll send it off today.
Perfect. Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Move to second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. You are adjourned 10:30.
Do we have a meeting, another meeting today at all? Go ahead.